welcome to NintenDad Weekly Chats. I'm your host Dave, alongside the Pikachu and the Wild Santi. And today we're going to be talking about our top 10 favorite games of the decade. Let's get started. Now, the way that this is going to work is that I'm going to be mentioning my honorable mentions. Santi is going to be mentioning his honorable mentions. And then from there, we're going to go from number 10 to number 1. I'll do number 10, Santi will do number 10. He'll do number 9, then I'll do number 9, and so on and so forth until we get to the top number 1 game of the decade for NintenDad. So, without further ado, let's get her started. Santi, honorable mentions for the decade.
For my honorable mentions of the decade, I have Super Mario 3D Land, a great game, Legend of Zelda, Link's Awakening, Legend of Zelda, Majora's Mask, which I suppose doesn't count.
No, it doesn't. It wasn't released originally in the decade 2010, but I'll let that go just because it's a very good remake.
Yeah. Splatoon 2, Yoshi's Crafted World, and Pokemon Sword.
Nice, dude. Wow, you've got some honorable mentions here that are very, very good. Link's Awakening, Super Mario 3D Land. Man, how can that not be top 10? And knowing how big of a Pokemon fan Pokemon Sword is on your honorable mentions, I can't wait to hear what your top 10 are. Wow. All right, let's kick off my honorable mentions. For my honorable mentions of the decade, I have Super Mario Run. It's a great game that I spent quite some time playing. I actually play it still daily. Very, very fun. Another honorable mention would be Donkey Kong Country Returns, Mario Kart 8, Yoshi's Woolly World, Tetris 99, and ARMS. Love that game.
ARMS is a great game. I feel like it's very underrated.
You know what? Yeah, I was surprised that it didn't do better. I love the worlds. I love the characters.
It's very colorful.
Very fun gameplay. The music's pretty cool too.
The music is really good.
Yep. It was a lot of fun playing it online, right? Mm-hmm. Those little tournaments that they had almost on a weekly basis were very, very fun to go in there and get some badges. It was very fun. I liked it. It was very close to getting into my top 10, but that just talks about how awesome the decade was for Nintendo. I mean, last year for 2019, my game of the year was Tetris 99, and it didn't even break into the top 10. So Nintendo, you did a fantastic job. Alright, let's get started with our top 10. And Santi, with this one, I'm gonna get it started. My number 10 on my list is Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. This game, I played it on the Wii U. Awesome system, very underrated. I love the Wii U, and I loved Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. It has fantastic graphics.
It does.
It has fantastic gameplay.
It's very creative.
Very clever puzzles. Yes, you're absolutely right. Very, very creative. I love the way that game plays. I think it's very meaty, the way that you finish the game with Toad and then you do another run with Toadette. I think it's great.
There's another one down the road too.
I hope so. I mean, I haven't played the Switch port, which added some levels, right? For Super Mario Odyssey themed levels. I haven't played it. Hopefully we'll play it soon. Right now I'm going through that game again on the 3DS just because of how fantastic that game really is. I'm really excited for any more announcements with Toad Treasure Tracker. I would be super excited if they announce something for 2020 or 2021.
Maybe. What I meant is that I think there's like a third story run through.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Ooh, we have to uncover that. I only got through Toad and Toadette. That would be awesome. So that is my number 10. Santi, take it away with your number 10.
Alright, my number 10, starting off, is Bloodstained Curse of the Moon.
Ooh, dale.
Now, this is a game that I knew nothing about. You were the one who got it, and I saw you play it, and I was like, wow, this looks amazing. The graphics are beautiful, the soundtrack was amazing, every song I love.
Soundtrack is amazing, yeah.
I was surprised to learn that it was from the creator of Castlevania.
Mm-hmm.
and I loved it. I loved all the levels, the characters, the story. I played it through like 3 times. I'm on my 4th run right now, actually.
Ooh, impressive.
Yes, I love it.
And yes, you're right. That was just like a little hold me down until the actual game of Bloodstained Ritual of the Night came out, right? But it just surprised everyone. I think that it has very good scores on Metacritic just because of how amazing it really is. I think I've said it before, whether you like retro games or you don't like retro games, it really doesn't matter. It stands alone and it's a fantastic game.
You can play it like veteran style or casually.
I play it casually. I know that you go hardcore and you go veteran style, but
yeah, with the knockback during the platforms, it can get frustrating, but it's really good.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't dare do that. Rage quit right away. But it is a fantastic game. You're absolutely right. Awesome soundtrack and just great gameplay. Absolutely. I love the characters, the way you switch with them. The locales, the boss fights are very clever. Also, they're very cool.
The upgrades you get.
The graphics and the sound effects are also some of my favorite stuff in that game. That's very good. Very cool. All right. Well, that's your number 10. Why don't you share your number 9 with us, Santi?
Coming in at number 9 is a very underrated game in my opinion. People should have played this game more. Is Kid Icarus Uprising for the 3DS.
Nice.
Now, this game I anticipated for so long. I only got a few years ago, maybe like I want to say a year ago.
Okay.
And I loved it. It was worth the wait. What? Not 6 years of waiting.
Well, I won't do the math for it, but yeah.
Yeah. So once I got it, it was very cool. I love the dialogue. I love the gameplay. It's very unique. How you use the stylus to aim.
Well, actually, I think that's what made it so controversial. Is the gameplay, right? The control style. It seemed very odd. I know that you told me that it's not as hard as it seems.
It's not. You get used to it.
But it's something that scares people away. I know that it scares me away, right? Maybe I want to try it. I thought because it was like it's an on rails, right?
Mm-hmm.
On rails game.
Kind of.
I thought that it would kind of be like Star Fox Zero on the Wii U, and I love Star Fox Zero. I think it's very, very cool, very clever how it uses the second screen. I thought it was fun. I did not find it cumbersome at all. And I thought that Kid Icarus was going to be kind of similar to that. But you told me that no, that it's very different in the way that you control it with the style, right? You attack with the stylus?
No, it says you use the bottom screen to aim on the top screen. You use the left button to like shoot, and then you use the joystick to move pit.
My point exactly.
So I love how it's like every time when you go into a chapter or level, it's first you're flying because Palutena only lets you fly for 5 minutes because that's what she can do, and then you're on the ground fighting.
Okay, graphically very impressive game. I think I've mentioned this over and over and over again. 3DS, one of my favorite consoles of all time. Very impressive what that game does on that console, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's very, very cool, very fast paced.
It is.
A lot of things, a lot of action happening on the screen.
It's great.
So I agree. I mean, not on my top 10. I haven't given it a chance. Maybe if I do, it'll end up on my most fun games that I played in 2020. However,
it's great. I highly recommend it.
For now, I really can't argue with your pick on number 9 with Kid Icarus Uprising for the 3DS.
Now for your number 9.
My number 9, yes sir. And my number 9 is Super Mario 3D World. Also a Wii U release. Again, I thought the Wii U was fantastic, and 3D World is a gorgeous game. The graphics are great. The gameplay was so cool. The fact that you can play, I'm not a big multiplayer, however, for that game, it really didn't matter because there was so much going on that the other players don't hold you back.
Not
like
too
sometimes,
much.
no, yeah, not too
Like
much.
usually when it's just like a 2D platform, they all like have to like be confined. This one's like a little more. You still get confined, but like it's not as much because you've got more land.
Yep, you have more land, and I think it's more difficult and more frustrating when you're playing a game like maybe like New Super Mario Brothers, right? Where that does hold you back if that person's not scrolling alongside with you. Or when you want to look for a little secret here and the other person is rushing through, it just seems a little bit frustrating, and one of the reasons why I don't like it. But Super Mario 3D Land found a way to fix that issue and make it fun for everybody to be playing together. The power-ups were great. The graphics were awesome. The worlds were very much inspired on Super Mario World. You finish the game and then you have extra worlds at the end. The end game is fantastic. And that boss level there with Bowser at the end is very cool. Yes, it's very, very cool. Very, very awesome. So for me, Super Mario 3D World for the Wii U was my number 9 game of the decade. Now I'm going to take it away with number 8, Santi. And again, 3DS, fantastic. And this game running on that system was very impressive. I'm talking about Resident Evil Revelations.
It's cool that it's exclusive too.
It was an exclusive. It's not an exclusive anymore. It's on everything. Even I think on your fridge and your toaster. But it was an exclusive for the 3DS at the time. And when you just booted up that game, you could not believe what you were seeing right there on your hands. And this is before the Nintendo Switch, of course. But the graphics were awesome. The gameplay was great. The atmosphere was scary again. And Resident Evil had somehow gotten away from the scary factor and the survival horror. And this came back to that and it made it in such a great way. The story is not so fantastic, but I think the atmosphere makes up for it. The gameplay and the graphics most certainly do as well. And then the other part that I really love about Resident Evil Revelations is that if you're playing it, turn on that 3D slider, put on some headphones, and I can assure you that it will just make your experience so much better with that game. Santi, that was my number 8 game of the decade. Take it away with your number 8.
Alright, my number 8 is Luigi's Mansion 3.
Ooh.
Now, Luigi's Mansion 3 we recently got. I actually just, like, yesterday or 2 days ago, just finished it.
Oh, you completed it?
Yeah, I did.
Nice.
I did. Do you want me to say, like, how long?
Sure. Yeah, go ahead.
The gameplay time took me about 10 hours.
Okay, not bad.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice game. I love the new mechanics and the old ones, such as the Dark Light. I like new mechanics such as Suction Cup and Slam. Luigi is pretty cool. I like how you use him in puzzles. It's cool that he has the weakness of being like very weak to water. How if he touches water, he's immediately gone.
Okay.
It's very cool. The puzzles are great. The combat with sucking ghosts is great. I love it. I highly recommend it.
I mean, I haven't touched that at all. However, it looks beautiful, right?
It does.
Oof.
I love the face features on some characters like King Boo.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No spoilers.
No.
All right. Anything else to add for Luigi's Mansion 3? I can't actually add anything, but other than it looks gorgeous. I've seen the trailers for it, and it looks fantastic.
I like how it's like a mesh of Luigi's Mansion 1 and 2. How it's not picking a level, like in how in Luigi's Mansion 2 it's like 1-2 or something like that, and how at the same time you're exploring one whole hotel.
Okay. I'm actually kind of excited to pick it up now. I gotta be honest, I'm about to finish Dark Moon on the 3DS.
You said.
And it's not that I don't like the game, it's just that it hasn't been as fun as I thought it was going to be. And I am a little bit nervous, and I hope that this doesn't happen with Luigi's Mansion 3, where it's that same situation. So hopefully it's different enough for me to enjoy it. I know that, I mean, you can't say anything bad about Luigi's Mansion 2 Dark Moon graphics, because it's fantastic. But I'm excited to get started with 3, and hopefully I really dig it.
I hope you do. I hope you do. I guess it's my turn to say my number 7.
Yes, sir.
All right, another very underrated game, Metroid: Samus Returns.
Ooh.
Now, this is a game that you also wanted. I was up for it because I never played a Metroid game until this one, and I loved it. I love the gameplay. The upgrades you get are very, very rewarding. I love the parry. It's so satisfying.
It is. It's very cool control.
I think because a lot of people asked for a 2D Metroid game, but I think people didn't get it because it was like a remake.
I don't think it's underrated as much as you think. I think the people that played it really liked it, and they were very vocal about liking it. The problem with Metroid Samus Return was that it didn't sell as well as it should have. I think that's where it gets underrated, where it wasn't a big seller. And people were saying, I want a Metroid 2D game. I want a Metroid 2D game. And this was a fantastic remake of Metroid 2. And people just didn't buy it. And now people are clamoring for another Metroid 2D. And we're like, go play the one you got.
It's great.
It is. It is a fantastic game, I think.
I love the graphics.
The graphics are awesome. The sound effects are awesome.
They are.
The controls are great.
Upgrades are rewarding again.
So yeah. Okay, very cool. I have only played it for like about a level or two. So I still have to dig into that one. It's in my backlog. So hopefully I get to it this year.
Dude, please.
Number 7 for me, another 3DS game. And this one, it again pushes the graphical style of the 3DS. Turn on that 3D slider so that you can really enjoy Mario Kart 7. On my honorable mentions, I mentioned Mario Kart 8, and I know that that's a fantastic game. It's beautiful, it's great, it's fast, it's fun. However, I thought that everything that game was built upon came from Mario Kart 7.
The gliding and the underwater section.
Everything. It was just so awesome. Again, having so much fun playing it on that little console was awesome. And then, turning on that 3D slider and just watching the world pop out. The depth of that game was so fantastic. The music is great. All of the levels, I really like all of the levels. They're so much fun.
They are. Very memorable.
I think it has a great selection of characters to choose from. Mm-hmm. I just love Mario Kart 7. Probably my favorite. No, not probably. My favorite Mario Kart game of all time.
My favorite is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
And on the 3DS, you cannot go wrong. I'm going to take it away with my number 6, Santi. And that is another 3DS game. This one is Super Mario 3D Land. Oof. A fantastic game. What can I say about the graphics? Again, this one's higher up my list than 3D World because I think that 3D World built upon what 3D Land.
I still think I like 3D Land better.
Oh my gosh, it's so great. I think the levels are very clever.
They are.
The gameplay was awesome. I think that Super Mario 3D Land injected a new life into the 3DS. Mm-hmm. And it was just great. You turn on that 3D slider and man, the effects of how some of those where you're grabbing the coins and you turn on that 3D slider and you know like how to solve the puzzle of how to get that star coin, that's very awesome.
I remember I would go on completionist runs. I'm pretty sure I was like, I'm not sure if I actually did it, but I'm pretty sure I was like,
and it doesn't feel like a chore, right?
It doesn't.
It's like
it's
super
so
fun. Yeah, it's super fun. Very colorful, great game. It's very hard to put down.
The levels are always short and sweet.
Yeah, they are. I thought that the way that they designed that game was fantastic.
The fact that there's so many levels too.
Yeah. And the replay value, I believe, of that game is very, very high.
It's great.
Right? So, can't recommend it enough. My top 6 game for the decade, Super Mario 3D Land. Santi, take it away.
My number 6 is Pokemon Alpha Sapphire.
Ooh.
So Pokemon game did get on my list, but the reason why it was Alpha Sapphire and not Pokemon Sword is because Pokemon Sword, I feel like I kind of rushed it, not going to be honest, because I wanted to catch up with everyone else.
No spoilers, you want it?
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, a lot of people were trying to give me spoilers. Pokemon Alpha Sapphire, I think, is the game where I've got like farthest in the Pokedex.
Okay.
I try to get every legendary. It was the most Pokemon game I'd say I've like tried at, where I would play so much with my friends. I would actually like play with them. You have Pokemon battles with them. It was so fun. I mean, I do that. I haven't done as much as that in Pokemon Sword and Shield.
So kind of would you say that you have nostalgia for this game?
I do.
Pokemon Alpha Sapphire is the one that you feel like, man, when I think of Pokemon and fun times with Pokemon game, that's the one that you go back to.
Yeah, it's
and
great.
And that's why you have that right here on your top 10 instead of Sword, right?
It's great.
Even though Sword is a great graphical, like achievement. It's the first Pokemon main game that is on a home console instead of a portable, right?
Which the water is are really cool, and especially with the DLC coming out. maybe like that'll make me really change my mind on it.
Oh, true.
But
Yeah.
so far, Alpha Cyrus is great. It has a great post game too, which is awesome.
Oh.
The music is always great. If you ever play Let's Go Pikachu, you can choose from all the Pokemon games that you want.
Cool. All right. Well, Alpha Sapphire, you're number 6. Let's go with your number 5.
My number 5, top 5. My number 5 going in at Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle.
Ooh, great way to start your top 5 there, man.
Yeah, I love the music. It was beautifully composed. I love when you think of Mario, you think of platforming. And when you think of Rabbids, you think of chaos. You put them together and there's none of that. It's just puzzles and strategy and amazingness. That's not even a word. That's how great it is.
I have to agree. It is very amazing. It is very surprising how fun, just thinking about the tactics and how you're going to go about the level and how can I beat it in less moves than these guys. It's just so much fun. It really is. The characters and the worlds are so bright. The rabbits, right? I mean, you just said it. They're chaotic and sometimes they're very annoying.
They're funny.
And then you put them on that game and they're super funny. They're super clever. The way that they interact with the Mushroom Kingdom characters is so much fun.
I love how like you would go in a battle and then puzzle in the overworld and then battle. Yeah. And I love how in the overworld you can like see them doing some shenanigans.
Yep. Yeah. And what's also great I thought about that game was how impressive the graphics look.
It was really great.
It's beautiful. I just thought that one came off like a big surprise that Ubisoft would be doing something like that, and I just can't wait. Hopefully we get a number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a great way to start your top 5, Santi. And I'm going to start my top 5 with my first Switch game on my list here, and that's Wolfenstein 2 from Bethesda. That game, I can't believe that it runs on the Switch. I can't believe that it looks that great. It's a fantastic story. It is so much fun. It is so fast paced. You just go there and shoot. The story is great. If you are a mature player, go check it out.
Very gory.
You are not going to be disappointed on that game. It's so fantastic.
I've yet to play that game actually, but I'm actually just playing Doom right now.
Yeah.
Which is also super satisfying, but Wolfenstein looks just as great with the shooting and the little things that you can do. Some scenes were very gory. I love the storytelling too.
I fell in love with it. Which is why it's on my first top 5. Now, I will go to my number 4. Another Switch game, Santi. And this one, here at the end, I had to do a little switcheroo.
Yeah.
But my number 4 is Super Mario Odyssey. A great game, a beautiful game. I had it higher, however, when I go into my number 3, we'll go over the reasons why it's not there. However, it's still a great game. So much fun, such a big world. You think you've ended the game and the game just started, right? It just starts right there where the game supposedly ends. There's so much in that game. The music is great. The graphics are beautiful. Mm-hmm. The physics, everything is so darn pretty in that game. I have to say, really, that Cappy surprised me. How much fun that game mechanic was of capturing, like you said, the enemies.
You can turn into a T-Rex.
You can turn into a T-Rex. It was just so fantastic. I love the fact that you can go into that 2D retro mode where you go into the walls and you play like 2D Mario.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. It's so beautiful.
It's great interacting with the worlds and collecting all the moons.
I agree. And collecting moons does not get boring at all. It's so much fun.
It's always great when you just find a one just on your way or uncover a secret.
Yep. That is then, Santi, my number 4.
Now, my number 4 is also Mario Odyssey.
Of course.
Alright, so as you said, I love the gameplay. The graphics are beautiful. I love the gameplay mechanics of just capturing. The physics of jumping are always great. The bosses, the kingdoms are also cool. I love at the beginning, it just gets straight to the point too. where you don't see Peach get captured. She's already captured, and you're on the boat trying to
Gotcha.
chase after Bowser.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's like straight to the point already.
Okay.
And then when you think of a first world, you think of like the hills and the plains with Goombas, and then all of a sudden you're in this dark
place, right?
world.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
Yep, I agree.
You have way more moons than I do though. You've been to the darker side. Because like you invested a lot of your time in that game.
I mean, yeah, I wasn't going to put that controller down until I was finished with that game. Now, I didn't get the 999 moons, but I think I went as hard as I could.
You went all the way to the darker side. I'm not even there. I'm not sure. I forgot what the moon quota is for that.
Yeah, but I'm definitely gonna try and go back to it. I don't remember the moon, like how many moons you need to get to.
I want to say like 700 or 800 or something like that.
I think it's lower than that, but it's a high amount of moons. But I love how it really starts getting a little bit more difficult, and then a little bit more difficult, and then it's really difficult, and then it just keeps scaling.
The inhabitants of each kingdom are really cool too.
Yes. And then, no spoilers, but that final level, that ending, ooh.
Also, Jump on Superstar was pretty cool.
Yep.
When you think of Mario, you don't think that it would have like a musical number as great as that.
Dude, and then you get that, right? That musical, you get it on, well, no, that's going to be a spoiler. Just know that the musical comes up again. And it's just as fantastic as the first time you hear it. So, very awesome game. Very deserving of number 4 spot. Now, Santi, if such a great game is on number 4, what's your number 3?
Number 3, we have Mario Galaxy 2.
Ooh!
Mario Galaxy 2 is such a great game. It came at the end life of the Wii, sadly. Yes. Wii was such a great console. Everyone loved it. I can't think of anyone who disliked it. Probably because such a person doesn't exist. Mario Galaxy 2 took what Mario Galaxy 1 did and made it better. It just gave you more of what it made it great.
Sure, yeah.
It added also Yoshi. It just added way more planets. I love the gravity and platforming. I love the enemies. It's so great.
Yeah, I would have to agree that Super Mario Galaxy 2 is great.
I need to play Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 again.
All right. Well, Santi, you got your number 3 out of the way, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go with my number 2.
3.
Oh, you're absolutely right. I did a switcheroo right there.
Yeah.
Yes, number 3, The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. What a fantastic game. And it originally was my number 4. Super Mario Odyssey was my number 3. However, when I kept thinking about it, quite frankly, The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild was way more, like, I kept thinking about it more than I did Odyssey. Even though Odyssey is such a fantastic and beautiful game, Breath of the Wild was just something so different.
I believe
Yes.
I believe the reason behind that is because like Mario already has so many sandboxes, which are all great, by the way. But this is like the only Zelda game that's open world. It's like the most unique, I'd say.
Okay, sure. I mean, I would agree that that's your opinion. The only reason why for me it's higher up in the list than Mario Odyssey is because for me, it was such a great time just traversing through the fields of Hyrule and discovering all the details and discovering all the little hidden things and meeting all the people and going on all the different, like little mini tasks that you go on.
Side quests.
Everything was so fun. The cooking mechanics made it so
You did that
fun.
way more than I did.
I loved it. I really did. The horses, I really liked the horses. I was trying to get a whole bunch of them with different colors and putting and naming them. And even those silly things were so fun in the game. And then you get into the really meat and potatoes of the game, which are the, fighting and going to the shrines and doing all of those puzzles. And just mind-blowing, right? All the weapon systems. I just thought that game was fantastic. It's so beautiful. It's really an achievement. It really deserves to be in.
It deserves to have won the award of Game of the Year 2017.
Sure. Oh, no doubt about it. Yeah. So for me, number 3, The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, and my number 2, another Zelda game, but this one for the 3DS, The Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds. This game was so much fun. I finished The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, and I was like, man, I feel like a little bit more Zelda. So I picked up my 3DS, picked up A Link Between Worlds, and I thought, because I just put down the most amazing Zelda game, there's no way that anything can top it. Wrong. Man, A Link Between Worlds was so much fun. The world is great. The story was fantastic. The gameplay was awesome. Even though Breath of the Wild is so beautiful, I have to say that A Link Between Worlds was so much fun. And which is why, for me, it topped Breath of the Wild. Now, the other reason too is the story. I loved it. I cried at the end. It was so fantastic.
Now,
yes?
no, wait, keep going. I won't wait till the end.
No, it was just so fantastic. And again, playing it on the 3DS, kudos to that little machine, man. It does wonders.
It does.
It's beautiful.
I like to point out that even though that you love this game way more, I actually I got more things than you did.
Oh, okay, cool.
I'm not sure if this counts as a spoiler, but
Go for it.
You can upgrade the sword.
Okay, well, there you go. So you got a few things more than I did. That's super cool. I'm pretty sure that it'd increase your experience with the game as well, because it's such a beautiful experience. And that makes it my number 2 game of the decade. Santi?
It's time for my number 2.
Ooh.
Now this game I still play to this day.
Okay.
I played it earlier today to get some practice in. And number 2 is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Nice.
Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is the best Smash Ultimate, I dare to say. Better than Melee. I really do think so.
Okay.
Well, I've always thought that.
Give us your reasons.
Well, I love the story. Well, not as much as the actual gameplay, but World of Light was pretty cool. It was a pretty cool addition. I 100% completed that one. I got all the spirits and everything. I still play to this day. It's so much fun. I love the mechanics. They're still adding DLC to this game because Sakurai is putting a lot of love and effort into this game.
Yep.
He does it for the
Stop
fans.
complaining. Yes.
Yeah. Violet was a little weird, but honestly, we've got 6 more characters down the road, and it's fine.
Yep.
Also, the way I see it is a plus for me, because if they add a Fire Emblem character from the newest Fire Emblem game, what's stopping them from adding a new Pokemon character from the newest Pokemon game?
Yeah.
I would want that.
Who do you think?
I want to say Toxtricity, and now I know that you haven't played Pokemon Sword, so you don't know who that is, but I'm sure those of you who have played will like. I feel like many of other people would agree with me. I know a few people who did.
Cool. So, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I know that it's a huge game, right? So many characters.
Like around almost 80 already.
What a beautiful game it is. Like you said, it has a story mode, which is so cool.
Over 600 tracks.
The music, that's incredible. Just the music itself. Playing the soundtrack is like a whole nother thing on a whole new level. Then the story mode, it has these bosses too, right? That you don't have, of course, in the main game, but it's like super cool to fight. You fight a dragon from Monster Hunter.
Yeah,
that's super cool, super awesome. I'm not a huge Smash Brothers fan, but this game looks amazing.
I can't wait till you take your time and actually play World of Light. I think you would like it.
And I'll try it. The only Smash Bros that I've really dug into is the one for the 3DS, of course. I love that machine again. But this one just looks so amazing. Kudos to you for putting it on your top 2.
I'm not gonna lie though, I think Subspace Emissary is better than World of Light.
Okay, well, we'll have to play and see. Santi, number 1 for you. Drum roll, please.
My number 1 game of the decade is Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. On your number 3, but it's on my number 1.
Yep.
I love Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. It was so cool. We waited a few years to get it, and I'm not sure why, because this game is so amazing.
Yes, it is.
I love the soundtrack and the ambience, and like the actual music that it has is great. I love the villages, I love the horses, I love the people, and it's just, I love it all. I think this is the first game that I've played that has like that certain combat where you have like perfect parries and all that.
Yeah, and you did all the shrines.
I did do all the shrines. That's how much I love it. Not all the Korok seeds because I feel like that would drain a little bit out of me. I did all the shrines though because I wanted to. I love the combat, the fact that you can break your weapons, get your own clothes, and upgrade your armor.
Makes it so interesting that you're looking for weapons and you're looking for the one that's not like rusty, so that you can get a stronger weapon.
The fact that it's a Zelda game just blows me away.
And to be honest, though, we weren't, or at least I wasn't, that big of a Zelda fan before Breath of the Wild.
I know, right?
Breath of the Wild just like opened up our eyes, and we're like, give me more. I want more Zelda. Let me go back and play the backlog. I know that you went back and you even put it on your honorable mentions, right? Majora's Mask.
Majora's Mask 3D is my second favorite Zelda game.
Like, such a great experience for you. You were so hyped about it when you finished playing. You're like,
played Ocarina of Time.
So awesome.
Thanks to Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, now I've played Majora's Mask, Ocarina of Time, Link Between Worlds.
Link's Awakening?
Honorable
mentions?
I'm still playing that right now. We've got Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, and Skyward Sword I'm able to play, which I'm going to do afterwards. Not Link's Awakening.
And that's thanks to your number one game, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, which again is such a fantastic game, and it opened up another world for us where we're like, I'm in. I want some more of this. So just adding to that, I think that the only thing that could get better than that is probably the anticipation for Breath of the Wild 2. Can't get here soon enough. Yes, I agree. So hopefully really, really soon we'll be playing that game and enjoying it and calling it our game of the decade. 2029, right? Did I do the math right? I don't know. You guys tell me. So with that, Santi, your top 10. What a fantastic list. I love it. Really cool. The reason why I like doing these videos is that you guys can get to know us a little bit better, and we would like to get to know you guys a little bit better as well. So put your list of your favorite games of the decade down in the comments below. So with that, Santi, I'm going to take it away with my number one, which is Super Mario Galaxy 2. My favorite game of all time is Super Mario Galaxy. And the reason why I think it tops number 2 just by a little bit is because when I played it initially, my mind was blown. The graphical style, the controller with the Wii U, the music is so beautiful.
You could listen to it without ever getting tired of it.
The game mechanics of the planetoids and the gravity, how all of that it's just mind-blowing. You couldn't believe what you were playing.
Couldn't.
And that was just the feeling that I got on the first one, right? However, if we are being objective, number 2, just like you mentioned before, builds upon that and just improves it so much more. Bigger worlds, better bosses, same game mechanics, same great music. It's just bigger and better. And quite frankly, I can't choose another game for my number 1. The Wii is my number 1 console of all time. And it's because probably of these games. So I just want to give a quick shout out to Super Mario Galaxy 2 for being number 1 in my top 10.
I want to mention something. Your number 3 was my number 1 and my number 3 was your number 1.
Hey, there you go. Great minds think alike. Well, that's all the time that we have today. Thank you so much for joining us. If you like the content, please hit that thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so that you can get all the notifications when a new video goes up. And until next time, sign off.